yeah, I would go drinking for days and uh, take substances and not sleep for a very long time. It almost became like a competition between me and my friends to see who could uh, stay awake the longest, and that is not good. That is not healthy. So yeah, very quickly, um, things like the things I was trying to fill that hole with, I was trying to fill the booze and the drugs. This hole, that hole got bigger and bigger, and I didn't know why. I had no support system to help me realize why that was happening. What I got was just other people around me just saying, "Come to this party," because they wanted to support me as my friends, but they didn't know another way. They didn't know what was really going on for me, and same, I didn't know what was going on for them. Um, but yeah, in the darkest moments, there was moments I couldn't even turn my head to look at someone because my body was so paralyzed of anxiety and fear that it was I couldn't look people in the eyes. I was very trapped inside my own body, and even talking about it now, I rarely feel like this now, but talking about it now, you can kind of feel that, and that had a knock-on effect with my relationship. So I felt very alone. Um, I couldn't get close to anyone, like family members. I pushed them away. Friends I didn't think understood me. Trying to get close, like romantic relationship, just would never happen because as soon as I did, this this fear would kind of would take over, and I pushed them away. Now that's more than just the addiction part. That's stuff that happened, when I was younger. But with all of these substances, I was taking to try and fill that gap, just pushed me further and further and further away from the things that I actually wanted. Now, the thought patterns that can come in when you're in that sort of vulnerable, debilitated state, they are thoughts which can lead to really, really dark actions. So things like suicide, things like hurting other people, hurting yourself. So yeah, it's a really dark spiral down, which doesn't seem to have a bottom. Yeah, all addictions have that commonality, is that it doesn't matter what you're using to fill that hole. There's still something there this it seems to be something there that you need to fill, and it's almost like where again, when I'm looking back from the standpoint I'm at now, that I was lacking in something, like this sense of lack, which, because we're not taught how to understand that, or we're not taught how to kind of look at that and be curious about it, we just kind of go into this I'm into this mindset of, I'm lacking, how do I fill that, with external things, things like food and booze, and then we kind of destroy this sense of self instead of building that sense of self. But we don't have it's really difficult, because when someone's feeling that, we don't really have a society that says talk about it like as soon as it happens, because when that starts to happen, it almost go like no one knows, and you don't want to tell anyone because you're kind of told not to. Not that someone's specifically going, don't don't talk about it. But
society, there's shame, and
there's a lot of shame around it.
Yeah, like I can make myself feel shame all by myself, but I've kind of got society helping me to do that too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's almost like when you feel that when you feel those certain feelings or emotions, like it's just compounded by um, the outside world as well. So you feel it inside, and then it's like all this stuff coming at you from the outside as well, which is compounding that. And it's for me, you either hit that bottom, and then you realize I've got to do something about this, or um, you start to look for tools or something to help you like see. People use that expression a lot, don't they? Like see the light, or like there's always this kind of image of like crawling back out of this hole. And that's what it feels like. It feels like you're just like in this huge, I nearly swore there, this huge well. And you're like crawling, you're crawling out, and you can see this light. But that to me is almost quite debilitating as well, because it's almost like there's no end to this tunnel, and this light just kind of stays there. But that's why things like this are really important, because once you see other people in have similar situations and similar feelings and emotions, then you're not like crawling towards something. You can just see something's there. It's just like, oh, okay, so um, then you can kind of uh, you can start to take more action